What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope I'm doing well. So, a couple of MLB free agency moves that happened yesterday, later on in the day. First one on a slightly smaller scale compared to the other one. The San Diego Padres signed Nick Pivetta, a starting pitcher, 4 years for $55 million. So, on a per-year basis, that's just under $14 million a year. It's a solid move for the Padres. I'm not sure if I would have given him 4 years. He is 31 years old. So I'm not sure if I would have given him a 4-year deal. But I think the money's pretty fair. His numbers don't really jump off the page. Came up in Philadelphia, wasn't very good. Goes to Boston, he's been better. He takes the ball every fifth day. Look at his numbers. The last 4 years with the ball with Boston, not going to obviously go for 2020 because that was obviously the very short year. 2021 had a 4.53 ERA and 31 starts. In 22 had a 4.56 and 33 starts. In 23, he was moved to the bullpen down the stretch in 38 appearances. Had a 4.04 ERA last year. 27 starts, 4.14 ERA. So he's a solid innings here in the back of your rotation. He's been around a while. He's thrown a lot of innings. He's takes the ball every fifth day. He's pitched in the playoffs before. Problem is, he's a bit of a fly ball pitcher. Fly ball pitchers are kind of out of the way in today's game. 20 years ago, it would have been nearly as much of a problem. Now, because of how of an uptick we have in home runs, he gives up a lot of home runs, which is a problem. Going to Petco, I think, will help him a little bit more than Fenway. Fenway is a bit of a Havers Park. Think about it. If you're a lefty, you got the really short porch and the pesky pole in right field, and if you're a righty, you got the green monster. So if you hit it deep, you might not hit as many home runs, but you'll hit probably 40 doubles because you got that huge wall, and who knows where the ball's going to bounce off that huge wall. Petco's a little more of it's a bigger ballpark, more pitcher friendly. I think this will help him for sure. And so that San Diego rotation is looking crazy. You got Michael King, who had a great year last year. He's turning into a stud. Dylan Cease is a great pitcher. Musgrove's really good. Darvish is towards the end of his career. He's still a good pitcher. And now Pivetta. That's a phenomenal rotation. Offensively, they're really good as well. Hae-Sung Kim isn't there anymore. You lose him in free agency. But still, you got, Tatis, Machado is getting a little older, but still a very good player. Jake Cronenworth and Jackson Merrill had a really good rookie year last year. So this San Diego team, which was very, very good last year, was in the playoffs. Loses in 5 to the Dodgers in the division series. Their lineup had a bit of a power outage. Games 4 and 5. They were very close to winning that series. I thought they were going to win that series going in. Didn't end up happening. The Dodgers ended up winning the World Series, but they still got a good team. And NL West is loaded. The Dodgers obviously are stacked as a guest, defending champs. San Diego's a very good team. Arizona, the team that took a step back last year, but you bring in you add Corbin Burns to an already good rotation. You bring in Josh Naylor. You make a trade for Josh Naylor to replace Christian Walker at first base. He's a nice bat to have in the middle of your lineup. And if you can get guys like Gabriel Moreno and Corbin Carroll to bounce back a little bit, if Jordan Montgomery pitches a little bit better after a disastrous year, he'll have a normal offseason busy year, which will help. Arizona, team that 2 years ago was in the World Series. That's another good baseball team. So there's 3 teams that could potential playoff team. Dodgers is also the obvious one. I think San Diego's still a playoff team. They are, to me, just as good, if not better than they were last year, and they were in the playoffs last year. And I think Arizona, who last year was, finished, a day out of the playoffs, is better than they were last year, for sure. So very interesting division in the National League. Pivetta is a San Diego Padre. And the big move, Alex Bregman has signed with the Boston Red Sox a 3-year deal of $120 million. He has opt-outs after the first 2 seasons. This is a really good deal for the Boston Red Sox. He is going to be 31, but it may end up only being a 1-year deal. It's a short-term deal. You're going to pay him, on average, $40 million. Last year, despite starting off slow, he's still at 260 with 26 homers and 75 RBIs, and he was hitting 210 in May at one point. Look, his on base was down last year. It was only 315, 366 for his career. His slugging percent was 453, which is it's about where he's been for most of his career. His career slugging is 43. It's kind of inflated because he was at 532 in 2018 and 592 in 2019. Since then, he's been like that 430, 450 range. And his OPS was still 768, which is a dip from his career 848. He was at 820 the previous 2 years. Remember, his OPS was 827, 926, and 1015 in 17, 18, 19. So it's kind of inflated. Getting a little bit older, but he's still a major threat to play. He hit 26 and 75 last year. He still got that can give you 25 and 70. He's still an excellent defender at third. They're gonna play him at second. So apparently, Payson sent out yesterday, right after his tweet about just the signing itself. So the plan is for him to play second base. They're gonna keep Rafael Devers at third base. They're gonna play Bregman at second. Bregman did say he's open to playing second base. He's played it, I think, briefly, but he's a Gold Glove guy at third. I'm sure he would have just fine second. I would probably put him at third and DH Devers. And you have Case at first. Case gets hurt again. You'll figure it out. Maybe you try Devers at first base. Who knows? You could have moved some things around. But I thought that would have made you better defensively. But Bregman is going to play second base. That's a big move for the Baltimore Red Sox. We've had a really good offseason. You improve your pitching. Obviously, you make the trade for Derek Crochet. You bring in Walker Buehler. You also bring in Patrick Sandoval. You'll have eventually coming off Tommy John, and now you make a move for Alex Bregman to help your lineup. You got a bunch of top prospects there on the cusp. Roman Anthony. They have a second baseman actually on the way. You have a shortstop Marcelo Mayer who's on the way. So all those guys we will probably see this year. Roman Anthony will probably be in the opening day lineup, if I had to guess. But this is a really good move. He actually turned down a deal from the Tigers for 6 years, $171 million. He did want a 6-year deal going into this. He could thank Scotty Boras for the reason why he didn't. But I think he thought, all right, it's a 6-year deal, but also he would be getting what, like, what's that, $27, $28 million a year, something like that. And Boss said he'll make $40 million. And he can opt out, and he can opt out. So he can make $40 million this year, opt out, and then possibly get, possibly get a 5 or 6 year deal, maybe for $30 million. So he won't get obviously 40. I don't think he'll eclipse $40 million a year ever on a long term deal. But he can make $40 million this year. This guy was coming off like making $25 million a year on his contract with the Astros. He'll make about 40 this year, and then he can possibly get a 6-year deal next year for more than the Tigers offered last year. You could have maybe eclipsed $30 million on a 6-year deal next year. So that's his goal. He's betting on himself, most likely. If he has his typical year, I'm sure he'll opt out. But this is a really good deal for Red Sox. Even if it's only for a year, you have so many infield prospects coming up that he might even be needed next year, hypothetically. So this is I think a really good deal for the Boston Red Sox. And they're looking at trading for Nolan Arenado. Arenado is just declining. He's one of the all-time great third basemen of all time. He's a first-ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. But at this point in his career, I think Bregman is the better option, especially since obviously you have to trade. You give up assets for Bregman because you're not trading for just signing him. And it might be for a year, and then you can let guys like Marcelo Mayer and the second baseman they have coming up take over from there. Let's recap Monday Night Raw from Monday of this week. First, Jey Uso came out, another electric reaction to the point where he had to do this again. After the music stopped, he had them startled again so he can continue eating. And then he went out to the announce table, but then he was attacked by Gunther, who just annihilated him. And as Gunther was walking back up the ramp, he grabbed the microphone and says, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'll see you at WrestleMania. Gunther went back up to the ring, and Jey fought him off and then do a suicide dive into him and all the security guards. So Jey Uso picks Gunther. He will challenge Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. There was a women's tag match, a Damage Control, Io Sky and Dakota Kai against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Io and Dakota Kai pick up the win. That was a really good match. And then she had an interaction with Rhea Ripley backstage and said in 3 weeks, after the Chamber, she's going to fight Rhea for the Women's World title. That's interesting. I really think the move is Rhea and Io at WrestleMania. I think that's how it should go. Obviously, you had Rhea interfere in the match. She accidentally hit Liv Morgan, disqualifying Io in the Chamber qualifying match between Io and Liv. I didn't like that. I would have had Liv win the match, not Liv. Io win the match and qualify for the Chamber, have her win, and have her fight Rhea. I think Tiffany versus Charlotte is the move with Charlotte winning the Royal Rumble. I think she should pick Tiffany Stratton. Uh, I mean, they're building it up like it's going to be EO against Rhea, which should be the right move, but how are they going to do it? Maybe do they make it a triple threat? And if so, who else is going to be in the triple threat? Is it going to be Bailey? Is it going to be Liv Morgan? I don't know. I prefer if it's not Liv Morgan. I'm done with Rhea and Liv. They closed that chapter already. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But that's what's going on with that. I mentioned Bailey. She beat Lyra Valkyria, the Women's Intercontinental Champion, in the women's qualifying match. I hope they give her some sort of run with that title, because it's been kind of blast so far. She hasn't really done anything with it. I know she's kind of beefing with Ivy Nile. Maybe they do that at some point. We'll see what happens. But Bailey beats Lyra Valkyria to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. So AJ Styles cut the promo, then Dom Corrido came out, and then Dom Corrido attacked AJ Styles. I'm so happy that he is back. Very excited about that. And AJ's going to fight Dominic next week. And then Seth Rollins and Finn Balor had a little promo. They're fighting in a chamber qualifying match. This coming Monday. I assume Seth Rollins wins. I hope Seth Rollins wins. Rollins and Finn Balor will have that match. And Logan Paul defeated. First CM Punk came out. He was cutting the promo, but because he's in the chamber. And then Logan Paul came out to confront him. With music hit, CM Punk goes, I don't even know whose music that was. I think that was a shot at the Def Rebel, because a lot of wrestlers are unhappy with their Def Rebel teams. They want to go back to their old teams. Gotta get rid of Def Rebel. They've got some good ones. They made the Roman one, when he was a heel, which is iconic, but so many of them out just suck. And some of them, when their music hits, like, who is that? It's like, it's this person. It's one of their bigger stars, and I don't know who they are when their music hits because of how bad Def Rebel's teams are. So they gotta get rid of them. But he came out, and then he fought Rey Mysterio in a promo CM Punk, and he cut a promo with Rey Mysterio for a chamber match. Logan Paul wins, and he is going to the Elimination Chamber. And then New Day attacked Rey Mysterio as the show went off the air. So we'll see what happens next week. That is Monday Night Raw. Mock draft time. So it's my first mock draft I'm going to do. I'm going to do another one probably sometime after the Combine. The Combine, I think, is like, February 24th to March 3rd. So probably first or second week in March, I'll probably do another one. And I'll do one more sometime in April. I think the first round of the info draft is April 24th, so sometime in April, I will do a third and final one. Hoping for that one, I have some friends with me, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But let's go through my first mock 2025 mock draft. Don't know a whole lot about the guys quite yet because it's so early in the process, so I'm sure this will change drastically as we get closer to April. But this is what we got so far. No trades for this one. I'm not doing trades. This one, I'm sure if I'll ever do trades. In the past, I've tried them. It kind of got wonky, and so like last year, I don't think I did trades. So I might stick to that. But for now, definitely no trades for this one. First overall pick, Tennessee Titans. I haven't taken Abdul Carter, edge rusher out of Penn State. Look, quarterback is obviously a major need. Will Levis is not it, but I really don't think that there's a quarterback worth taking this high. I don't even know if the quarterback worth taking in the first round. This quarterback class is horrible. Look, Cam Ward and Sir Sanders, I have them going very high. They're going to go really high. But I can see the Titans taking Cam Ward. But I don't see a quarterback worth taking. Honestly, I like certain guys I like that are going to go in like the mid rounds. I like better than like the guys that are going high. Like, I don't see a whole lot in Cam Ward and Sir Sanders. I would rather take a flyer in the later rounds on like Jackson Dart or Dylan Gabriel or somebody like that, to be honest. But Abdul Carter, he's a great player, phenomenal edge rusher. I really think the Titans should trade back. I have a feeling they might. I think there's a chance that happens. Somebody will be stupid enough to move up and take Cam or Sanders, whether it's Vegas, the Giants, the Jets are talking math. Just do that, I will cry. Somebody might give you a haul for that pick. May not a haul like in passengers because the pick probably isn't as valuable, but still. You'll probably get 2 firsts, a mid-round pick or 2 at least, and maybe a decent player. So, but for now, I think they'll stick at one and take out Abdul Carter with that first overall pick. Second overall, Cleveland Browns. I have been taking Travis Hunter, corner out of Colorado. Look, Hunter's a really good player. I think he's one of the best players in this draft. He is easily a top 5 player in this draft. The only players I see that are better than him, you could argue, are Abdul Carter, maybe Mason Graham, maybe McMillan, maybe you make an argument for Will Campbell, but he's easily a top 5, not top 3 player in this draft. You can make an argument he's the best player in the draft. A little too much baggage. I wouldn't take him as high personally. He's got some baggage to him. Is Dion gonna get his hands involved in that? And he's got some stuff going on off the fields. And look, he thinks he can play both ways. He cannot do both ways full time in the NFL. It's not going to work. You're playing against grown men. If you play 150 snaps a game in the NFL, you will be out of the league in 3 or 4 years. I am telling you. If he wants to be a corner, maybe he plays a couple of plays a game at receiver, certain packages, maybe a trick play here and there, maybe. But if he's playing both positions full time, no, not going to work. But I think he's I think he's got a chance to be a really good corner. I think be overhyped a little bit. I would take him maybe in the end of the top 10. I wouldn't take him as high, but it's Cleveland. They're desperate. Again, quarterback situation is one candidate. You have to Deshaun Watson, just whatever that hell is going on with that. Look, they're stuck with him. It's really hard to bench a guy making almost $50 million a year that you give up 3 first-round picks for a rookie. So I don't think they will draft the quarterback. There's always at least one team that's like, oh, we're going to draft the quarterback. We're going to draft the quarterback, and they don't. It's a smoke screen. I think Cleveland might be that at least that the team or one of the teams this year that does that. And they go with Travis Hunter. Third overall pick, New York Giants take quarterback Cam Ward out of Miami. Look, I'm not sold on Cam Ward. I don't see him translating very well. I don't see it. I don't see him as a leader. I don't see his game really translating well to the NFL. And I don't like him going to the Giants. Their offensive line is better, but work still needs to be done. There's nothing over there. They're a complete mess. I don't trust Joe Shane with my life. I think Dable's a bright offensive mind, but I just don't know if he can handle a full team and be a legitimately good head coach. I don't see it. I just don't. But they're desperate for a quarterback. They're as desperate as you can get in this league for a quarterback. I think they're going to take Cam Ward. I'd be surprised if I didn't, if he's there. 4th overall, New England Patriots. I had them taking Tutoria McMillan out of Arizona, wide receiver. I think it's the best wide out in this class. Look, Patriots should be focusing on the offensive line. They have maybe the worst O-line in the league last year. It was awful. You were shuffling pieces. Yeah, a lot of youth. They need to get better. They also have $133 million in cap space. They're good. They have money to go out and revamp the line and even sign number receiver if they want to. But receiver is also a major need. Who's your number 1 receiver? Kendrick Bourne? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Bourne, he's a serviceable 3. That's about it. Douglas, I don't see a whole lot there with Douglas. Maybe he'd be a 3. I don't see him much more than that. Baker, he didn't even give him a shot. Wasn't that high in him coming out anyway. Polk looked really bad last year. Maybe he's a little better with some better coaching and a better quarterback. Well, not better quarterback, better quarterback play. Drake May is, I think, very good. I'm sure he'll play better than he did his first year. I don't think he was bad in his first year by any means, but obviously, guys develop, they obviously get better. But I didn't hate him coming out, but he looked really rough last year. I don't really, right now, even see a 2 on that roster. I think McMillan is the top receiver in this draft. And you get him. You can take care of your offensive line in free agency, and you get McMillan with the 4th pick, they could be in good shape. And obviously, you have the quarterback that at least that you want in Drake May. You took him last year, obviously. So McMillan, 4th overall to the Patriots. 5th overall, Jacksonville Jaguars. I have been taking Mason Graham, D lineman out of Michigan. Graham's a top 3 player in this draft. Guy's a stud. Jacksonville is as hopeless as it gets over there. For guys, the pieces that they have that I like. I mean, you're stuck with Trevor Lawrence. There's Brian Thomas, and that's basically it. Yeah. Devin Lloyd's okay. Tyson Campbell's okay. That's about it. That defense needs a lot of help, and Graham's a good starting point. So I have him going 5th to the Jaguars. 6th overall, the Las Vegas Raiders. I think quarterback Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado. Okay. I think Shedeur should be a 4th-round pick. I think the guy is horrible. He is as bad a leader as I've seen out of a quarterback being this hot touted in a long time. He might be worse than Caleb Williams from a leadership standpoint. I didn't think that was possible. He's got a good arm, but very inaccurate. Not that mobile. I do not see him translating it at all. I don't think he has the mental capacity. He screams Zach Wilson to me, honestly. I see this. I've seen this move before. I don't see this working out. However, this seems so obvious that he's going to the Raiders. I'd be shocked if he's not a Raider. This is the most Raider thing to do. They are desperate. They are a joke. Do I think him and Pete Carroll makes any sense? Hell no. Do I make sure this pick makes any sense? No. I would 6th pick. I don't know if I would take him with the 106th pick. But he's going to go this high. Someone's going to reach for him. I think it's going to be the Raiders. The Raiders will be taking Shedeur Sanders. 7th overall, New York Jets. I have taken corner Will Johnson out of Michigan. On the surface, this kind of is like, really, corner? But when you look at it, DJ Reed's a free agent. He's not coming back. I don't see him coming back. He's going to go and get a bag. He's made it very public that he does not want to be with the Jets anymore. I kind of don't blame him. Sauce is obviously great. The guy's a stud. But this is a need for them. I get like, oh, we need quarterback. There's not a quarterback worth taking at this point. You're better off. I know they announced officially they're moving off from Aaron Rodgers. You're better off maybe giving Justin Fields a shot. Trying one of these other vets, whether it's if Derek Carr gets moved. Well, maybe not Kirk Cousins, but even like I'm not into Russell Wilson, but try one of these vets, see what happens. But I think Will Johnson should be the pick. I think he's a real good corner. Sauce and well, you look at the defense you have with better coaching. You have up front you have Quincy Williams. You got Jermaine Johnson coming back. You have Will McDonald. You have Mosley in the middle. Sauce and Will Johnson. That's a defense on the half right there. So Will Johnson. Also, you just hired Aaron Glenn, defensive guy. You have Wilkes as the coordinator. You draft Will Johnson. Aaron Glenn will be beating his chest for that one. So Will Johnson to the Jets. 8th overall, Carolina Panthers. Will Campbell, offensive tackle out of LSU. To me, I think he's the best offensive lineman in this draft. Carolina, like you have a young quarterback in Bryce Young, showed a lot of life down the stretch. Might not be a complete lost cause that we thought he was heading we thought at one point this season. But he needs a lot of help. Needs a lot of help on defense. Needs a lot of help on both sides of the ball, honestly. But you gotta protect him. The line was better last year. You added a couple of pieces on the interior part of the offensive line, but tackle still a slight need. I get it. Defensively, they were a mess last year, and there's a lot of good defensive players in this draft. There's guys here that they could take, but I think Will Campbell at this point is pretty clear the best player available. And you think you have Moton and Campbell, and then you got the 2 guards you brought in last year. Carolina offensive line looks really good. You got to protect Bryce Young. You know, he's a smaller quarterback. So I think this is the pick. Will Campbell to the Carolina Panthers. 9th overall, New Orleans Saints. I'm taking James Pierce, edge rusher out of Tennessee. The Saints have been trying to find the heir apparent for Cameron Jordan for years. They tried with Marcus. They gave up 2 firsts to try out to get Marcus Davenport. That did not work. They took the kid, what was his name, Peyton Turner or something. That did not work. They've tried and tried and tried. They keep whiffing. I think this is where they find the guy. I like Pierce. He's a little undersized. He's a little kind of a weird player, but I think a very good speed rusher. In recent years, there's been a couple of edge rushers that they're really explosive. They're really good, but a bit undersized. And teams are like, I don't know. Then you look like teams said about Will McDonald. After struggling in his first year, he played really, really well last year. You know, Jared Verse, same thing. He looked really. He was defensive rookie of the year. Laiatu Latu, same thing. But he didn't do a whole lot in his first year. But I think that will be really good. So I think Pierce is in that same kind of realm. I think he will be really good next level. Saints take him 9th overall. 10th overall, Chicago Bears. Josh Simmons, O-tackle out of Ohio State. Look, I think they whiffed on Caleb. I've said it since before the draft last year. I said it all through this year. They're a mess. But they got to improve that line. The line's not as bad as I think the numbers may have said, because Caleb, he holds on to the ball for about 16 years at a time. But the line does need to be better. Simmons is a very good offensive lineman coming out of Ohio State. Obviously just won the national championship. Bears take him 10th overall. 11th overall pick. San Francisco 49ers take safety Malachi Starks out of Georgia. Okay, look, they're going to have an interesting offseason. Obviously, you had an injury-plagued year. You know, Deebo Samuel looks like he's not going to be on a team next year. But still, you got Ayuk coming back. Ricky Pearsall played well down the stretch. You got Kittle, McCaffrey coming back. You should still be set offensively. Quarterback will work itself out. I assume it's going to be Brock Purdy again. And I get some people says, oh, the offensive line needs more help. Now our secondary hasn't been all that, honestly, the last couple of years, if you really look at it. Safety's been kind of a hole for them, especially since Jimmy Ward left a couple of years ago for instance, to go to Houston. So, Starks is the best safety in this draft by far. He's really good, big part of that Georgia defense the last couple of years. So, Starks, 11th overall to the Niners. 12th overall, Dallas Cowboys. Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State. Okay. I think this should be the pick. Jerry Jones likes to do weird stuff. He might take somebody else. He might take some offensive guard I've never heard of. He might. In fact, he probably will. But this should be the pick. Okay, I'm not a fan of taking running backs this high. I gotta be honest. I'm not all for that. But we saw this kid at Boise State. This kid's really good. I think will be a great back at next level. Jeanty, Dallas. It makes too much sense to me. They desperately need a running back. It should be the pick. Will Jerry Jones go out and just take somebody else that he shouldn't take? He probably will. He hired Schottenheimer as his head coach. At this point, he might as well coach the team himself at this point. But if Jerry Jones doesn't go completely senile, which he probably already has, but he doesn't go like completely senile, this should be the pick. Jeanty to the Cowboys. 13th overall Miami Dolphins. I haven't taken Tyler Warren. You might say they should go defense, but you have a quarterback in Tua, who I don't think is that good, and he's better. He's not super mobile because of all the injuries he's had, and it looks like, I think Tyreek Hill's gonna be back there next year. You got him, you got Waddle. You have a quarterback who's can be accurate when his head's screwed on straight, but doesn't have a good arm. Is kind of a statue back there. Security blanket. The tight end is huge. They have not had a good tight end ever since they had him. The best time they had is Mike Gesicki. Tyler Moore is definitely the best tight end in this draft. The guy's a stud. That's going to be a great tight end for a while. He goes to Miami Dolphins. 14th overall. Indianapolis Colts take Mike Green and a Marshall. Look, the Colts are a mess. I don't trust Chris Ballard as far as I can throw him. The defense was really bad last year. You took a lot too last year. This is a defense you're clearly trying to build piece by piece. You took a lot too last year. You obviously have Buckner there. Now you take Green. All of a sudden, pieces are starting to come together. Mike Green and Rusher and Marshall to the Colts. 15th overall, corner Benjamin Morrison at Notre Dame. Falcons. Look, they're gonna roll Panks. Obviously, they took them that high last year for a reason. You have some weapons on offense that you spent high picks on. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, whatever Kyle Pitts is. The line's pretty good. It's pretty set. Defensively, they need some work. I love AJ Terrell, but he needs a little help in that secondary. He gets it with Benjamin Morrison. 16th overall. Arizona Cardinals. They take Kelvin Banks Jr., tackle out of Texas. Look, they're stuck with Kyler. No other way around it. I don't think he's very good. There's a couple pieces there. They have some young pieces on defense. So they could use a little bit more, but that line isn't great. They gotta protect Kyler. He's a guy who's got 20 CL in the rearview mirror, undersized quarterback who runs a lot. You gotta protect him. You're stuck with him at the end of the day. Kelvin Banks is a good tackle. Get him in there. Kellen Banks, 2 yards with the Cardinals. 17th overall, Cincinnati Bengals take Mike Williams, edge rusher out of Georgia. So they could go receiver with T. Higgins most likely leaving for agency, but that defense was so bad this year. Trey Hendrickson might be leaving. You get his replacement with Mike Williams out of Georgia. 18th overall, Seattle Seahawks receiver, Luther Burden III. You might think, why are they going receiver? You have Metcalf, you have JSN, Tyler Lockett. I think Tyler Lockett is a cap casualty. He just screams it. And I look at some of the pieces they have defensively. I like them a lot. I think as his defense, starts to get more experience, I think they will get better and better and better. They got better as the year went on last year. Yeah, you have a defensive minded head coach in Mike McDonald. I think you take Luther Burden, Geno Smith, these other weapons that he can get. I think he'll be the quarterback again next year. Luther Burden, the receiver out of Missouri, is a Seahawk. 19th overall, Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Armand Membo, tackle out of Missouri. That line leaves a lot to be desired. You have Tristan Wirfs on one side. You need somebody on the other side. Left tackle's been a hole since Donovan Smith left a couple of years ago, and they fill the hole with Membo out of Missouri. 20th overall, Denver Broncos take receiver Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State. Look, I think Egbuka is a 2. I do. And I'm not a fan of taking a number 2 receiver in the first round. But, look, Denver, I think, has a good quarterback in Bo Nix. He played really well as a rookie. And, you got some pieces there. Sutton's a really good player. Now you get another nice piece in Egbuka. Now you draw the double teams away from Sutton. In Sean Payton's offense, that's a really good look. And Emeka Egbuka to the Broncos at 20th. 21st overall, Pittsburgh Steelers take Matthew Golden, receiver out of Texas. Again, I'm not a fan of taking number 2 receiver in the first round. The receivers desperately need one. Whoever's throwing the ball, the running game is just kind of but they have a good offensive line. If Pickens is on the team next year, you got Pickens. Now you got Egbuka as well with Freiermuth at running back. Also, the offense doesn't look so bad. So Matthew Golden to the Steelers. 22nd overall, Los Angeles Chargers take edge rusher Jack Sawyer of Ohio State. I think Khalil Mack's going to leave in free agency. They have other needs, on offense to take care of in free agency. I think he leaves in free agency. He's declining anyway. Put him next to Joey Bosa. Oh my goodness. I think that kid's really good athlete. Just won a national championship. One of the best players in the house to defense. He goes to the Los Angeles Chargers. 20th overall, Green Bay Packers take Shamar Stewart, edge out of Texas A&M. Look, the Packers, Jordan Love is the guy. They signed him, so he's their guy. They have some good receivers, Reed, Dubes. They might need one more guy, but there really isn't a receiver I think that is going to go here. So I looked at them defensively. I like a lot of the pieces that they have. Jeff Hafley did a good job last year, but let's give him another piece. Shamar Stewart. Now you look at it. You got Preston Smith. You got Kenny Clark. You drafted Van Ness. Then you had this. Yeah, you got this kid. They're looking really good up front. So Shamar Stewart, Green Bay Packer. 24th overall, Minnesota Vikings take Omarion Hampton, running back out of North Carolina. Alfie McCarthy's your guy. You got plenty of firepower offensively. You got a good defense. This is a good team. But, running back Aaron Jones, a free agent. He's probably going to leave. The only missing piece is the only really true hole on their roster besides the secondary, which I think they will take care of in free agency. Hampton is the second best back in this class besides Genti, and I think he'll be very good. He goes to the Vikings at 24. 25th overall, Houston Texans take O-tackle Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State. Look, this line needs to be completely revamped. They had a lot of injuries last year, a lot of moving parts. It was a complete mess. They got to turn off the line in the offseason, and they did hear in the draft by getting Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State. 26th overall, Los Angeles Rams take Josh Connolly Jr., tackle out of Oregon. Look, I think it's time to look at Matthew Stafford's successor. But they can get that in the later rounds. There isn't a quarterback worth taking in the first round. That defense got a lot better as the year went on. They got a lot of young pieces over there. I get Cooper Kupp is going to be probably traded, but I don't think it's a receiver worth taking. They got to drop the offensive line. Stafford is a statue at this point in his career. So Josh Connolly out of Oregon is the man. 27th overall, Baltimore Ravens take edge rusher Nick Scorton at Texas A&M. I think Scorton's a very good player. I think he's being a little bit underrated. I can see him shooting up draft boards if he has a good combine. The Ravens are, I get receivers is a major need, but that's also a team that runs the ball a lot. You know, with John Harbaugh as the head coach over there, obviously Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. You guys get the picture. This is a team that wins games, always have, with running the football and playing good defense. Their pass rush has been lacking in recent years. They should shore that with Nick Scorton. 28th overall, Detroit Lions. Walter Nolan at Mississippi. I can see why you think secondary, but you know, if they're healthy, that secondary actually doesn't look so bad. You got two great safeties with Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. I get Carlton Davis as a free agent, but Terry Arnold is a really good young player. You got some other pieces, and you look up front. You know, Alan McNeil. I don't know what we're gonna get out of him. Hutchinson's come off a major injury. You know, Darius Smith. What are you gonna get out of him? He might even be a free agent. The linebacker core, you know, you got Anzalone, but then a bunch of guys coming off injuries. They need another pass rusher depth weight as well. That's why they're looking at Myles Garrett. Walter Nolan's a really good fit over there for the Lions, and I think he's a Dan Campbell kind of guy. Walter Nolan to the Detroit Lions. 29th overall, Washington Commanders take D-tackle Kenneth Brett out of Michigan. The fact that they had him next to Mason Graham at Michigan is kind of crazy. With Will Johnson in the back end, it's a crazy defense. By the way, the Commanders, obviously you hit on the quarterback last year with Jane Daniels, and I do think they could use another receiver, but they'll fund that in free agency. Defensively, get Dan Quinn some help. Start with Kenneth Graham. You have him, Payne, Allen on that D-line. All of a sudden, that defense looks a lot better. 30th overall Buffalo Bills. I'm taking Jadee Barron, corner out of Texas. I think they need one more really good cover guy. I like Benford if he's healthy. Razor Douglas, the free agent, is getting older. Don't think he's coming back. They replace him with Jadee Barron at Texas. 31st overall, Kansas City Chiefs taking Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan. You might have kind of a hunt. You think they should target receiver. You know, if Nick Bolton leaves in free agency, but I think Travis Kelce might retire. If not, you gotta find his successor, and they find it with Colston Loveland. And 32nd overall, Philadelphia Eagles. I'm taking Demetrius Knight Jr., linebacker out of South Carolina. Look, Eagles core is pretty much set. Linebacking core it's not bad, but I guess the weak point on their team, get Nick Fangio, another nice piece on defense, Demetrius King Jr. at South Carolina. That's my first mock draft. That's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.